This is TechCrunch.
On Thursday, the U.S. Department of Justice unsealed federal charges against British teenager Thalha Jubair, who prosecutors accuse of being involved in at least 120 cyberattacks, including the U.S. court system and the extortion of dozens of U.S. companies. The 19-year-old Jubair was arrested on Tuesday at his home in East London, according to a statement by the National Crime Agency. He appeared in court on Thursday morning in London alongside another teenager, 18-year-old Owen Flowers. Both are accused of involvement in a 2024 cyber attack targeting Transport for London, the government body that oversees the London public transit system, which resulted in a data breach and a months-long recovery effort. The National Crime Agency said the hack on the London Transit System's IT network was attributed to the Scattered Spider hacking group. According to BBC News, both Jubair and Flowers were taken into custody to appear in court at a later date. Scattered Spider is an English-speaking group of financially motivated cybercriminals, mostly teenagers and young adults, who are sometimes referred to as advanced persistent teenagers for their skilled and repeated cyber attacks. These hackers are known for their ability to hack into large numbers of companies, often by using relatively simple social engineering techniques, like calling up a company's IT help desk, pretending to be an employee who forgot their password and now needs a new one. These hackers are also known for their involvement with other hackers through a nebulous cyber collective called the COM, referring to the cybercrime community that sometimes crosses into the real world by using physical threats and violence, including swatting. As part of a separate set of federal charges filed in New Jersey, U.S. prosecutors said Jubair also faces computer hacking, extortion, and money laundering charges in relation to dozens of hacks that saw corporate victims pay over $115 million in ransom payments. In its criminal complaint, the FBI said in July 2024 it seized servers they believe are run by Jubair and found evidence that Jubair was allegedly involved in hacks of at least 120 companies, including 47 companies in the United States. According to prosecutors, Jubair used social engineering techniques to break into company networks, to steal internal data, encrypt the victims' servers, then extort the victims into paying the hackers to unlock the files. One of the victims included a critical infrastructure company based in New Jersey. The FBI said it found evidence on one of the servers allegedly run by Jubair that included more than a gigabyte of data stolen from the critical infrastructure company, as well as browsing history that showed apparent evidence of logging into the critical infrastructure company's servers. Another breach the FBI allegedly pinned on Jubair also involved access to the U.S. court system. During January 2025, Jubair and the other hackers allegedly contacted the U.S. court's help desk to gain access to 3 user accounts, including one belonging to a federal magistrate judge, to search for information related to Scattered Spider. The hackers also used one of the hacked accounts to submit an emergency information disclosure request of customer information to an unnamed financial services provider, a common tactic used by these hackers to trick companies into turning over user information in response to what they think is a legitimate legal request. The FBI said Jubair's seized server was used to conduct searches. Related to the U.S. court's hack was used to send the emergency request to the financial firm. Bloomberg first reported in August that the Scattered Spider hackers broke into the U.S. court system to search for information related to the hackers, including the sealed indictment of one now convicted member of Scattered Spider, Noah Urban. Jubair's servers allegedly contained a cryptocurrency wallet storing around $36 million at the time it was seized, much of it traceable to the companies who paid the ransoms, according to the FBI. But the FBI said Jubair allegedly transferred out around $8.4 million from the wallet as the FBI was taking control of the server. It's not immediately clear if the Department of Justice has or will seek Jubair's extradition, and a DOJ spokesperson did not immediately comment. Every now and then, researchers at the biggest tech companies drop a bombshell. There was the time Google said its latest quantum chip indicated multiple universes exist. Or when Anthropic gave its AI agent Claudius a snack vending machine to run and it went amok, calling security on people and insisting it was human. This week, it was OpenAI's turn to raise our collective eyebrows. OpenAI released on Monday some research that explained how it's stopping AI models from scheming. It's a practice in which an AI behaves one way on the surface while hiding its true goals. OpenAI defined in its tweet about the research. In the paper conducted with Apollo Research, researchers went a bit further, likening AI scheming to a human stockbroker breaking the law to make as much money as possible. The researchers, however, argued that most AI scheming wasn't that harmful. They wrote, "The most common failures involve simple forms of deception. For instance, pretending to have completed a task without actually doing so." The paper was mostly published to show that deliberative alignment, the anti-scheming technique they were testing, worked well, but it also explained that AI developers haven't figured out a way to train their models not to scheme. That's because such training could actually teach the model how to scheme even better to avoid being detected. The researchers wrote, "A major failure mode of attempting to train out scheming is simply teaching the model to scheme more carefully and covertly." Perhaps the most astonishing part is that if a model understands that it's being tested, it can pretend it's not scheming just to pass the test, even if it is still scheming. Models often become more aware that they are being evaluated. This situational awareness can itself reduce scheming, independent of genuine alignment, the researchers wrote. It's not news that AI models will lie. By now, most of us have experienced AI hallucinations, or the model confidently giving an answer to a prompt that simply isn't true. But hallucinations are basically presenting guesswork with confidence, as OpenAI research released earlier this month documented. Scheming is something else. It's deliberate. Even this revelation that a model will deliberately mislead humans isn't new. Apollo Research first published a paper in December documenting how 5 models schemed when they were given instructions to achieve a goal at all costs. The news here is actually good news. The researchers saw significant reductions in scheming by using deliberative alignment. That technique involves teaching the model an anti-scheming specification and then making the model go review it before acting. It's a little like making little kids repeat the rules before allowing them to play. OpenAI researchers insist that the lying they've caught with their own models, or even with ChatGPT, isn't that serious. As OpenAI's co-founder Wojciech Zaremba told TechCrunch's Maxwell Zeff about this research, "This work has been done in simulated environments, and we think it represents future use cases. However, today, we haven't seen this kind of consequential scheming in our production traffic. Nonetheless, it is well known that there are forms of deception in ChatGPT. You might ask it to implement some website and it might tell you, 'Yes, I did a great job.' And that's just a lie. There are some petty forms of deception that we still need to address. The fact that AI models from multiple players intentionally deceive humans is perhaps understandable. They were built by humans to mimic humans, and synthetic data, aside for the most part, trained on data produced by humans. It's also bonkers. While we've all experienced the frustration of poorly performing technology, when was the last time your not AI software deliberately lied to you? Has your inbox ever fabricated emails on its own? Has your CMS logged new prospects that didn't exist to pad its numbers? Has your fintech app made up its own bank transactions? It's worth pondering this as the corporate world barrels towards an AI future where companies believe agents can be treated like independent employees. The researchers of this paper have the same warning. They wrote, "As AIs are assigned more complex tasks with real-world consequences and begin pursuing more ambiguous long-term goals, we expect that the potential for harmful scheming will grow. So our safeguards and our ability to rigorously test must grow correspondingly." That's it from TechCrunch. For more tech stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com.